My name's Paul Monaghan. I'm founding director of Alford Hall Monaghan Morris. We're one of the biggest firms in London and in the UK, and we work all the way around the world. The building from an architectural point of view is interesting because half the street is an historic Shepherdess Walk, which is a much lower street and has a grain that is quite Victorian, Edwardian, with brick warehouses. And then you get to City Road, which is the main route from London into, I suppose, the city, and Silicon Roundabout is at the bottom on Old Street. So what you have is towers at the City Road end, and you get towers at the middle of it. What we have here is lots of low buildings. So what we decided was that the corner was incredibly important and that it needed to be marked, and that's why we put a taller element on the building. I suppose the building is like a tower and tail. It steps up onto the street, which can take bigger buildings, but then steps down onto the more sensitive streets around it. Here it's a piece of sculpture, so it slowly steps in, almost like a wedding cake, till you get to the top. And we felt that really geometric, square composition was really unusual again for London. One of the things we've done is set the building back from the street and created this public space where there's this beautiful plane tree that we kept. And what that does by moving it back is makes I suppose the front door of the building much more civic. It will feel much more impressive. So when you go into either the office or the residential building, there's this double height arcade, which I think will, from my point of view, means that you really do feel like you're going into somewhere that's quite special. You can see in the look of the building on the outside, the red bricks we've chosen, the bay windows. It's like a modern warehouse. I think every city has its warehouse districts. We're in near Shoreditch and Hackney and Islington, where these grand Victorian warehouses that used to be leather makers or watchmakers with big windows have always been loved by people, and particularly creative industries. And what we tried to do is create a new version of that. We've got a real mix of, I suppose, of something that mixes our client and mixes us. So we've got the red brick of London, but the brick itself is coming from Belgium. And it's an unusual shape, so it's not a London brick. And we quite like that twist, that you look at it. It'd be very unusual for London to have that. It's not a standard London stock brick. And I think that's one of the unusual things about the building. So we've picked it, something traditional, but something European too, which I think will make it a little bit more sophisticated. I often refer to it as like a city sandwich. It's got retail and restaurants and affordable workspace at the ground floor. It's got a very civic entrance. Then there's offices in the middle, and then on the top there's residential, and there's leisure in the middle. You know, it's the sort of building you'd find in Japan, everywhere, in Tokyo, but you never find in London. London's always an office building, always residential, and this is unique. At the moment, one of the most important things about the building is the idea of taking sustainability to another level. So we're going for excellent on BREEAM and wellness, we're going for gold. And again, I think that will make it a building that stands out. What we're finding now is people only want those types of buildings, and this one will be pushing it to the next level. At that level, you get amazing views over Islington and into the West End, so fantastic views on there. The landscape here is designed by Andrew Grant, who did the gardens in the Bay in Singapore, one of the most famous new parks in the world. And of course, it's an amazing offer in there. There's some fantastic facilities. There's amazing greenery and amazing views. And obviously we get the sunshine in the evening, and some days it won't rain. There was a very collaborative approach with our clients, and also a very knowledgeable approach. We're very aware that they had done developments worldwide of a very high quality. So, it was a real team effort, and I think we thoroughly enjoyed it. Come in London, not in the short term, but in the long term, to be long-term players of quality in London and have their unique stamp on it. And I think it was what really attracted us to in the early days. They really wanted to do something that was unique and unusual in London, not just use it as a way of making money. It was more about to say, this is what our company's about. And that had a lot of resonance with us and all the other design team. And you know, I think it's been an intense journey, but I think we like that. When quality is what everyone wants, we all enjoy it. So it's been a really fulfilling process.